Hello, how are you all doing this evening? I have a quick live for us tonight. I had a color challenge that I did for the VIP conference that I was involved in over the weekend. And the color challenge was to use cinnamon cider, so saffron, and flirty flamingo. And I probably would not have put these three colors together, but you can see what I came up with, and I was really happy with that. I thought they looked great. This is a little box that I just designed. I don't usually do that. I usually get dimensions off, some that I've seen, and then I wanted it to fit these little 3x3 note cards that you could just tuck into a lunchbox or a briefcase or a gift bag, just a little tuck in. If you wanted to make an envelope, you could. I haven't experimented with making the envelope for this size, and I just love the little box that it comes in. And if you wanted to make these, the 3x3, the 3x3 note cards fit in it really nicely, and so will some Post-it notes. So if you wanted to, you could put some Post-it notes in there and decorate a pen. I'm just gonna put this in there of some kind, and it would be a cute little gift. You could tie a bow on it. So that's what you could do. If you wanted to, you could make another little slender box over here on the side, and it would just stick in. You could attach them, almost make like a little desk set, and maybe have a couple more. But you could certainly do that with this one. Just put your Post-it note and your pen in there, and away you go. So it's a good size box. I think so. I think I can use it for a multitude of things. So let's very quickly just show you all this box and then let you get back to the gorgeous weather. I hope that most of you are going to catch this on the replay because it is so nice outside. I want to hurry up and get out there too. I'm going to try to get my computer ready here so that I can see if anybody has any questions. I'm trying to be much better about that. Sometimes I just launch into my whole thing and I forget to pull this up so I can watch for the questions. If you're curious, I'm going to use this lovely U stamp set, and I really am liking this. Let's get this volume off because we don't want to hear that. Okay, we're good to go. Hey, Donna's here. Hey, Donna, how are you? So, again, these are the three colors we're going to use. Let's start with, what should we start with? Let's start with the box itself, and then we'll do the little cards. But anyway, I've been doing a lot with this stamp set. I'm really, if you got an envelope from me in the past week or so, it's had one of these images on the back of it because I've just been playing with it a lot, and I love all the little sayings that come with it too. So what we're gonna need to start this box is a piece of cinnamon cider, and it is 9 inches by 4 1/4. So I already had that cut. Next, we're going to get out our trimmer, and we are going to, let's see, we'll do this one first. So we're going to score it at 1 inch because we want our bottom to be 1 inch. So we're going to score this long flap at 1 inch. I'll make sure it's right along that 1 inch line, and we don't want that cutter blade in there. Is that? It seems like more than one, but all right, so 1 inch. And then I know I'm going to have to swing this arm out, so I might as well go ahead and do that. So we're going to score it 3 1/4. So 3 1/4 score. Then we're going to score it 4 1/4. Then we're going to score, what did I say? We're at 4 1/4 now, and we need to go 3 more, so that's 7 1/4 plus 1/4, so 7.5. I hope that's right. I didn't write it down. I've been making these and now all of a sudden I'm like, what? And then I know we needed a little 1/2 inch for the flap. There we go. So we scored it at, so you can write these down, at 3 1/4, at 4 1/4, then 7.5, and then at 8.5, because we have that little 1/2 inch flap left that we're going to use to glue it. So then we're going to take our scissors and we're going to snip these down at the bottom, and you can snip it right up to that score line that you made for the bottom flap. So we're going to snip all of those right up to that flap. And then this little tiny flap right here, we do not need at all, so we're just going to cut that off. Now this is the point where if you wanted to stamp some kind of pattern on it, if you wanted to run part of it through an embossing folder, you would want to do that before you assemble. Let's close that up. We're going to fold on all of our score lines. We'll get our bone folder out and make all the score lines nice and crisp. And score these going the opposite direction. I didn't take my paper down and now it's moving all over the place. Don't get seasick, anyone. Oops, one more. So there's our little box, and I'm going to use some Tombow liquid. I've been using that a lot more just because if I need to, I can quickly pull it apart and readjust. So I'm going to fold this down on those two and then put some liquid right there. I almost forgot, put liquid right here. If you wanted to use our tear and tape or the Stamp and Seal Plus, both of those would also be good candidates for adhesive for this box. And then make sure that this seam down here, push that in just a tiny bit. All right, there we go. And then to make sure that bottom is stuck down, just use your bone folder. And then while our box is drying, snip that off. It's not quite even. There, that's better. We're going to set this aside and we'll work on some stamping for the front, and we're going to work on the fronts of our cards. So let's do our box front first. Now you can see this one, I don't have any stamping down here at the bottom, just the saying. Now you can do that by creating a mask. You can use your Post-it notes, which we'll probably do that. But if you wanted to make your own Post-it note, you could just get a piece of paper and put some of this Tombow liquid. I know I showed you guys this the other night when I did the mask in the middle. And I just smoothed that out and then I set it aside and let it dry. Got it on my paper. So you'd set that aside and let it dry, and then it would become just like this end of the Post-it note. And I usually kind of stick my hand on it or put it on the scrap paper to make sure it's not too sticky. But that's what we're going to use. And when I was talking about the cards we did the other night, it was this one where we had one in the middle, the mask, and then we stamped. Now this one I thought turned out great. I really liked how these two turned out. But this one, there were too many stems kind of peeking out in the middle, so I did another layer over the top, and that hid most of the stems. It just didn't look clean to me. The first one that I did, and I mailed that out to somebody, so I can't show you. I had done it a little, the flowers in a little bit more, and so there were less stems showing, and that looked fine. So just know that if you're doing one with some stems, they might look a little messy, and then you'll end up having to put that strip in there and layer it. But these are just flat and smooth and one layer, and they look just absolutely lovely. So that's what I'm going to do again here. Let's get our little squares. Oh, and you know what? This one, I cut the same size as those. Let me cut, we need a 3 by 3 because this box is 3 1/4. So for the front, I'm going to cut another one. Three by 3. So when you're putting your box together, this front bit needs to be 3 inches by 3 inches square because your box front is 3 1/4 by 3 1/4 square. And then the little squares that are going to go on your note cards, those are a little bit smaller. So those are 2 3/4 inch square. So this is 3, and this is 2 3/4. So let's get our Post-it note, and I'm going to put this right here. And if you want to, you can look at this and say, all right, so this is where I need to stamp this. And you can stamp it first if that helps. What color do we want to do? Let's do the Flirty Flamingo. We'll just kind of create another box like the one we have, and then I can give this one away. So this one, I'm going to stamp the Just Because right here. Flirty Flamingo. So I know exactly how far down I can stamp because I've already got that. And I think I want to put my Post-it note. Make sure that's even. I grabbed it a little bit. I want my Post-it note to be a little bit above. So right on that line. So maybe about a 1/16 of an inch above. So now we know exactly where we want that. We're going to get our stamps. I'm going to start with the cinnamon cider, and I did the leaves in cinnamon cider, not a traditional color for leaves, but the color challenge that I was participating in only allowed for these 3 colors, and I thought, how in the world am I going to do this? Because I knew I wanted to use this stamp set, and then I decided it just didn't matter if the leaves were true color or not. Sometimes it's fun to use a color that isn't exactly traditional, kind of break out of the mold, think outside the box. So those are our cinnamon cider pieces. We've got some Flirty Flamingo flowers, and we're going to use this little flower image right here. And we're just going to sprinkle these little flowers. I think I got something on that. Yep. Look at it in the light. There's a little hair on that. So, come back up here. And then, well, like I said, we'll sprinkle those around. And then I'm going to clean my stamp and use my Stampin' Mist cleaner. That'll get it nice and clean. On my Stampin' Scrub, I have a dry side and a wet side. So I always either keep water or spritz one side of that and keep the other side dry. And And then even still, I will test it and make sure that it's clean when I'm going to a lighter color like this So Saffron. It's very light. And I'm inking up several times because it is the old style felt pad, and I'm about ready to replace it. It's served its life. It's done very well. Let's see if we can fit that in there. Maybe one more up here. And I might come back in, clean this off again real quick, come back in with one more Flirty Flamingo up there at the top. You want to make it look as if it was cut from a piece of paper. I want to add more, but I don't think I should. I think I should just stop. Then we'll peel this away. We're going to grab our cinnamon cider ribbon, which is this lovely soft ribbon. And I just want it to be a little bit wider. I'm not going to tie a knot or a bow. I'm just going to have this clean strip of ribbon running right across the bottom. So what I'm going to do is put a little bit of this Tombow back here. A lot of times I'll use the tear and tape for this. And then I'll fold that. Make sure I've got it just the right height. Fold it back around. And then I'll put some more adhesive back here. And I want to make sure I sandwich in right over that ribbon. So we want it sandwiched in between two layers. Make sure that's the opening of the box, so we're putting it upright. And then just center it on here. If you wanted to, you could layer some more cardstock behind it. You could do a layer of the Flirty Flamingo or the saffron or whatever your color scheme is. So there's our little box. That's already done. Now let's do our tiny little cards. So we've got 3 cards, and we're going to do just a variety. We'll start with the Flirty Flamingo, and we're going to do this sweet little flower right here. And I will tell you, on the first one, when I put this together, I had to fussy cut one out to cover that up because I stamped on an ink pad. I think I did the saffron first, and then I decided I wanted it in the flamingo, and I forgot to clean it. So I had almost like an orange, a very, very pale orange, almost grapefruit colored flower on there. And I just fussed. At first I thought I could live with it, and I stuck it down, and then I went, no, I can't. So I had to cover that up. And then I think we're going to put a saying on here. And we're going to put that in the saffron. I'm going to put that up just a little bit, because we're also going to put some ribbon on that card. Set that aside. Let's see. Next, we'll just get that cinnamon cider back out, because we're going to do a little leaf spray on this one, and we'll put that on this side of the card. I think that leaf is my favorite stamp, although I don't know, that one is really cool too. I've done some fun things with that one, but I really like this leaf stamp. I can see using that for all kinds of leaf backgrounds. It's a good size. Now, where is that fun one? Oh, yes. I love this saying. It says, you're my person. And we're going to do that in the Flirty Flamingo. We'll do that kind of down here at the bottom. So that's number 2. And then card number 3, we're going to do that one. Get these back out of the way so I don't mess them up. We're going to do that one kind of like we did the other one. So I'm going to stamp Just Because in the cinnamon cider. And I'm going to stamp it right up here about in the middle. And then we'll do some of these leaves. Let's do one right here. And then we're going to hold off. I'm going to set this over to the side. And I'm going to stamp my little flower. So that was most recently stamped in Flirty Flamingo. You see, I checked there because I just want to make sure that I'm not going to mess that up again. So I'm going to stamp only from the saying down. And it doesn't matter if I get them a little above that. I don't want to mask it off. I don't want it to be that definite of a line, but I do want the top to be open and clean. So we're going to take that stamp and we're going to clean it off because we're going to use it again with the saffron. Let's get our saffron back out. And we're going to stamp one little saffron up here and one little saffron down here. Maybe one up there a little bit. And then we're going to come back in and we're going to insert that cinnamon cider leaf just like that. So that gives us just a little bit of a spray. I wish I wouldn't have stamped those right on top of each other if I would have switched them a little bit, but that's not a deal killer. I can live with that. So I'll close these up and then we'll put our cards together. Now I've got 3 different color card bases. I've got a cinnamon cider, a Flirty Flamingo, and a So Saffron. And we're going to put this one that we just finished, we're going to put that on the Flamingo. I know I told you before, but that Flamingo is one of my favorite summer colors. It just says summer. It says Florida to me. Love it. So there's card number 1. Card number 2, let's see, we'll put that on the cinnamon cider, and I didn't even fold that one yet. So put those edges together, make sure that it's even, and then use the bone folder to put that crease in. Today, I was working on cards for the class for Thursday and also for the virtual card class next week. And I ended up doing the same thing for both of them because I was really happy with all of it. And I didn't want one group to have something different and then not be as thrilled with what they did. So everybody's going to do the same thing. It turned out really cute. They're all with the Celebrate Sunflowers, and I'll have the tutorial out by this weekend for everyone. If you come to the class or if you do the virtual class, you will get a copy of the tutorial. Fold our little ribbon right around there. Uh-oh, I don't think I got the I don't think I got the adhesive low enough to grab my ribbon. I didn't estimate that quite right. All right, there's our little ribbon, and we'll put this one on the So Saffron card. Get some adhesive right over that ribbon because we want it trapped in there. And then that will finish our little note cards. There we go. Those are the note cards, little tuck-in cards that will fit right in your box. So sweet. And there's the one that I had before. If you need these measurements again, I will try to post that. That's a nice little box, and I'll try to in the comments put the measurements in there for that. But it was 9 by 4 1/4. That was the basic piece that you needed for that. And then these little note cards, they're 6 by 3 scored in half, so they turn out to be 3 inches by 3 inches. And yeah, that's what we have. That's what we have for tonight, is our cute little box. I hope you all enjoyed tuning in. Just a quick, sweet summer project, and hope you all can tune in on Thursday. I will try to have something recorded and post Thursday before my class in the evening, so I won't be able to be live on Thursday since I have the class, but then we'll have the virtual class with the Celebrate Sunflowers on Tuesday of next week. So have a wonderful rest of the week, and I'll talk to you on Thursday. Thanks, everyone. Bye.